Hello everyone, in this video I'll be explaining you the problem prime sum, and it was asked in starter 206 of CodeChef contest. So let's read out the problem. Chef has an integer array a of length n such that element ai is basically from 1 to 3, both are inclusive. Chef is wondering how many pairs exist in his array which have a prime sum. Formally, find the number of pairs ij such that this I is 1 base indexed, so it is greater than equals to 1, and j has to be less than or equals to n and should be greater than I, and this a of I plus a of j is prime. Okay. So x is a prime integer if it is not 1 and has no other divisor except 1 and x. For example, 2, 13 and 97 are prime integers while 1 and 4 are not. So I think prime, this is definition of prime number. So I think you guys know. Even if you don't know, don't worry, I'll be telling you. So they have given input, so we have test cases. So like multiple test cases are there. For each test case we have two lines of input. In the first line we have integer n denoting size of the array, and in the second line we have elements of the array, n elements of the array. So we'll have to output how many pair of some, I mean, yeah, how many pair of elements exists in such a way that their sum is prime number. So it's easy only, don't worry, I'll be telling you. So yeah, first test contest, I mean, take the first test case wherein we have 1 1 as the element. So first test case what they give is array is having 1 1 as element, n is 2, basically size of the array. So okay, let's understand the problem. So they have given n as the length of the array, and in array we have element ai, sorry, a1, a2, a3 up to so on, ai up to so on, an. This is the array elements, and what they said is this ai element will always be greater than equals to 1, less than equals to 3, which means in this array you will have only 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. If you take 0, this is not in the range, so this is not included. Even if you try to take 4, but this is not in the range. So only 3 elements you will have in the array. So you have 3 elements, and they're asking basically take 2 elements, any 2 elements. Like if you take first element, then second element you add this number a1 plus a2. So if you do a1 plus a2, so the sum whatever you are getting, let's call it as s, and this s should be prime number, right? This should be prime number. So they're asking how many such pair exist. So I think in this example the constraints are very less, like n is 100, so you can use 2 for loops, basically that will be solved in n square algorithm. Like take 2 for loops, that this is brute force approach, but I'll be telling you the optimized approach. Yeah, like that is like O of 1. So in brute force approach what you will be doing is you take 2 for loops. The outer for loop I will be running from 0 to n minus 1. The inner for loop j will be running from I plus 1 to n minus 1, right? And like you will get array elements that take array element as a of a of I and a of j. Take their sum, whatever sum you have found, this sum you will have to check if this is prime or not, right? If this number is prime, then take one answer variable, like how many pairs you have, initialize with 0, and then you do answer plus plus, and at the end you will have to display the answer. This is pseudocode for the brute force approach, but I'll not be solving this way. What if the constants are input side is like 10 power 7 or 10 power 6? So in that case your n square algorithm will not be good. So what I'll be doing is since you have only 3 elements, as you can see you have only 3 elements, so you have 1, 2 and 3 elements, right? And okay, so if you fix this element 1 again, like this is like I am taking like one particular index I'm fixing, and this is other index like j, and I is lesser than j. So what I'm trying to do is that you will be basically taking two elements and summing it up. So since the array element has only three elements, 1 2 3, array has only three elements, 1 2 3. So uh, what combination of sums you will get? You will be adding 1 with 1, so 1 plus 1 is one combination, you will get 2. You will be adding 1 with 2, 1 plus 2 you will be getting 3. You will be adding 1 plus 3, then you will be getting 4. Now you'll take 2 and 1. This is already done here, 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 is same, so that's why I'm not taking. The other possible is like one element is 2 and other element is also 2, so in that case your sum is 4. And other case is like 2 plus 3 will take, one element is 2, other element is 3, in this case sum is 5. And the last case is you can take 3 1 which is already dealt here, 1 and 3 3 are same, 3 2 also you can do, 2 3 or 2 3 2 same. So 3 plus 3 is the last two element that you will be taking, and your sum is 6. And as we know, the definition of prime number is the number which are divisible by itself and 1, and not other than any number. And the numbers start, the prime numbers, let me call it as p, it start with greater than 1 and less than infinity. So in this case, if you see, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 4 is not, because 4 is divisible by 1, true, but 4 is also divisible by 2. Since there is other number which divides 4, so this 4 is not a prime number. But you see, in case of 2, 2 divided by 1 is divisible, but and 2 by 2 is divisible. Only like 1 and the number itself divides. 3 also has the same thing, 3 divides 1. If you do 3 by 2, then this is not a perfectly divisible. So yeah, and 3 divides 3, so this is also prime number. And here 5 is a prime number. Why not 6? 6 divides 2, 2 divides 6, and also 3 divides 6. So out of the array element whatever you have, so out of that you have taken you have only 1 2 3 as the element value, and all possible combinations you have done, like one element is 1 and other element is 1, one element is 1 other element is 2, one element is 1 other element is 3. So in this way you have taken all the combinations, and you have found out that 1 plus 1 will give you prime number, 1 plus 2 will give you prime number, and 2 plus 3 will give you prime number, and these three numbers will not give you prime number. So now, so our idea now here boils down to, you will have to find how many ones are there in the array, because 1 plus 1 will give you 2, and which is a prime number. So now you'll have to find how many primes numbers are, ones are there. Here you have two numbers, two ones, right? Let me call it as 1. This is variable basically, and its frequency is 2. So now how many pairs is possible in this case? If you see, this is 0th index, this is first index, only one pair is possible, 1 comma 1, right? Only one pair is possible, and its sum is giving me 2, which is prime number. So 1 is the answer. So now frequency is 2. Now we will try to find the formula. So what you will have to do is 1 into 1 minus 1 divided by 2 if you do. This will give you how many pairs are there in such a way that both the elements are 1 and their sum is giving prime, right? So in this case your 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2, and this is giving you 1. So as we can see in this array you have one pair, and this formula is also giving 1. So yeah, like we will have to find the frequency of 1, how many ones are there, and this formula holds good. And how do I came up with this formula? So let me tell you. So what I did is, like, let's say you have all ones in the array. If you have all ones in the array, this pair like 0 1 2 3, this is index. 0 and 1 index is also 1 plus 1 is giving you 2, which is prime. 0 2, this one and this one is giving you one pair wherein sum is prime. This pair is also giving, so you have got 3. Now you take this 1 and 2 is also giving you, 1 and 3 is also giving you, then 2 and 3 is also giving you. So, and one more are left, 0 3. So as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 are there, and since your n is 4, if you take 4 uh, into how many ones are there and lesser than 1 divided by 2, if you do, so you're getting 6 as answer. So that's the reason I came up with the formula. Frequency of ones, how many is there, into 1 minus 1 divided by 2 will give you the pair wherein you have both elements as 1. Now you'll have to find frequency of 2 also. In this array you don't have any frequency, that is fine, but ideally if you think of, or let me take one example wherein you have 2 as well. Yeah, let's take example, third example. So for 1 this is a formula, right? This is array, n is 3, here 1 you have 1, 2 also you have 1, 3 also you have 1. Basically frequency of 1 is 1, frequency of 2 is 1, frequency of 3 is 1. So in this case, as you can see, 1 and 1 pair will not be possible, and that is true, because you have only 1 and you can't make 1 pair in such a way that your sum is 2. So if you try to put in this formula, then your frequency of 1 is 1, 1 into 1 minus 1 is 0, divided to this will give you 0, which is true. Now for 2, as you can see, this is pair, like you'll have to take element as 1, other element as 2, and 1 plus 2 is giving 3, which is prime number. So you'll have to find the frequency of 1, how many are there, frequency of 2, how many are there, you just add into your answer. So one more, this pair will be 1 into 2 will give you the answer. The reason being, see in this case you have 1 1 and 1 2. So if you do 1 into 1, which is giving 1, so only 1 into pair, only 1 you have, like 2 comma 1 you can do, or 1 comma 2, both are same, like addition is commutative property holds. Yeah, so let me take one trivial example and you will understand. Let's say you have 2 2 1 2 1 1 2. Okay, so how many pairs will be possible? You fix these two, take this 1 1 and 1, and if you try to take these pairs, 2 plus 1 is giving 3, right? So 3 pairs are possible. And if you take these two, again you will have to take this one, you'll have to take this one, you'll have to take one more this one. So for one particular 2, your how many ones are there, those many pairs will be possible. Again for this second 2, how many ones are there, that will be possible, right? And now if you take these two, this is the pair and this is the pair possible, but this pair is also possible, right? Like 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1 is also possible. That's why, like how many 2's are there, those many 2's you'll have to take into how many ones are there. If you do, you'll be getting those many pairs. In the same way with the 3 also, like one more will be 2 into 3. So basically in the array you'll have to find how many 1's are there, how many 2's are there, and how many 3's are there, and your answer, these are the formula that you'll have to use, and that will give you the answer. And this is the most optimal solution, like O of n, linear time complexity. Only one time you'll have to scan the array and find the frequency of 1 2 and 3, and you will get the answer. So let's try to code it up. I think you guys understood. So input we have test cases, and I'm dealing here at this position, and for every test case we have integer n denoting the size of the array, and for every test case we have n elements. So I'll not be taking any vector or something, I'll be taking only 3 variables. Int 1, which will be initialized to 0, 2 initialized to 0, 3 initialized to 0. And then I'll take one temporary variable, let's say val. In this val I'll be taking answer. Since my array element are only of 1, 2 and 3, so if value is 1 I'll be increasing the count of 1, and if it is 2 I'll be increasing count of 2. Else definitely we have element as 3 only, because in array we have only 1, 2 and 3 as element. So once we found that, as I showed, our answer is going to be 1 into 1 minus 1 divided by 2. And then the other formula was 1 into 2, and the other formula was 2 into 3. And then you have to display the answer. Let's try to run it. Here it is running fine. Let's try to submit it. Yeah, it got accepted. I think in this way you could have easily solved the problem. Like, this is the most optimal solution. Since constraint is less, you could have solved using brute force also. But when you go beyond certain level like 3-star or 4-star, so in that case you'll have to deal with the bigger test cases. So yeah, and why did I came with this approach? Because the elements were very less, like 1, 2 and 3. So I just found out how many what are the pairs possible and what are their sums, and those sums, like which pair is giving the prime numbers. So based on that I just came to you know of this solution. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video.